Now, thousands of residents living in high-rise buildings with unsafe cladding are now being charged hundreds of pounds in increased service charges. It's leaving people suffering with anxiety, unable to sell or move. Sky's Emma Birchley reports.
Ritu Saha saved for 8 years for her dream flat. But it wasn't long after the horror of Grenfell Tower unfolded that it became clear her building was at risk of the same fate. And that if it was going to be sorted, it would be down to the residents.
It's been a constant mental torture because, you have these huge bills landing on your head. If you cannot pay them, then you will be made homeless. You will lose your home. We're facing bankruptcy and it is a constant fear.
For a start, since 2018, 2 lots of supplementary fees have been added to Ritu's annual service charge.
So that makes your service charge now £7,000?
That's right.
It's more than trebled?
Yes.
The extra money is to pay for a fire alarm and someone on site 24/7 to alert flat owners in case of a fire.
Ritu says the freeholder who bought the block in 2008 has been very sympathetic to the residents. But it's been made clear it'll not be meeting the cost of replacing the cladding, which could be as much as £70,000 per flat.
It's the same picture countrywide, with owners unable to sell as mortgage companies refuse to lend to buyers while the cladding issue is unresolved. In May, the government allocated £200 million to do the work on privately owned flats, but it will cost much more than that, and the fund only covers aluminium composite materials. No help to Matthew and Natasha, whose building is clad in timber.
The management company just seemed to be a sort of facade, a barrier between us speaking to the landlord. They're not helping us with anything. They're not giving us any clarification whatsoever on these costs. And they don't seem to sympathise or help in our situation at all.
In Greater Manchester, a task force has been set up to support those affected. It found that nearly 3/4 of owners live in fear of a fire. On Tuesday, residents from across England will lobby Parliament for action.
Sometimes, it feels like the government only focuses on issues it wants to. It can find money for a blue passport, it can find money for a Brexit 50p coin, it can find money to renovate Big Ben and Parliament. Why can't it find money for residents in this situation? And it's a question of priorities, isn't it?
The residents of the 57 flats at North Point have no idea how much, if any, of the cost of the work will be met by the government.
And this is our fire escape. So
their building has 2 types of cladding.
You can see that there's cladding all around it. If we have to run out in the event of a fire, we're running through walls of fires.
But Ritu's clear that even if she and her husband don't have to pay a penny more, the stress of the past 2.5 years means they can't leave soon enough. Emma Birchley, Sky News, Bromley.